Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to class. My name is Nora. This is week 4 of our twisting and binding series. So, this class is built upon the foundation of weeks 1 through 3. If you haven't taken those classes yet, I recommend that you do so before you take this one. We will be focusing on the skills that we've built across the course of the series. We're also just going to have fun and let it flow. We've got a really fun class planned. So again, we will still work on those foundational skills of twisting, but we're also going to move a little bit faster and add some more funky creative transitions into this class. So if you're with me for that, let's begin on the mat. We'll start laying down today. If you're using my same playlist that's provided in the description box, let's go ahead and start that together. We're going to start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So however you find yourself laying down, legs can be long, soles of the feet can be on the floor, maybe the arms are at your sides or overhead. You decide what you need. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it go out through your mouth. Close down the eyes and let yourself fall back into the support of the earth. When it feels like I can't manage everything, I manage my breath and let it be enough. When it feels like I can't manage everything, I manage my breath and let it be enough. That's from the poet M.L. Bordner. And I want you to let that guide your practice today. The breath creates a barometer for the internal state. When we're breathing really fast and choppy, we're unsettled. Oftentimes we're fearful or nervous. When we're breathing deeply and slowly and steadily, we're calm, we're relaxed. So notice how the breath shifts as we move today. And if at any point you feel like the pressure inside of you is too much, that barometer rating is too high, remember to rest. Remember to come back to this practice of creating a steady breath, a baseline on top of which we build the entire practice. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Breathe in. And out. One more full breath in together. Pull the navel down, squeeze the air out, emptying thoroughly. In and out through the nose as you find your own rhythm to this breath that will carry you through the practice. Take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, drag the right knee into the chest and give it a squeeze. Turn your left foot on, pulling the toes back towards the shin. Your knee, the center of your thigh, the center of your shin, all point directly up towards the sky along with the toes of that left foot. From here, extend the right arm up, catch the outer edge of the right foot for half happy baby, left hand moves to the hip. Pull down with the right hand and at the same time push your right foot up against the ceiling. Notice how that increases the pressure on the right low back, right SI joint. Keep pushing away through the left heel. And breathing deeply. Another full breath in. Exhale, gently release. Slide the right heel out long. Pull the left knee into the chest. Turn the right foot on, pulling the toes back towards the shin. The toes, the shin, the kneecap, and the top of the thigh all point directly up towards the sky. Extend the left arm, extend the left heel, catch the outer edge of the left foot for half happy baby other side. Pull down with the hand, push up with your foot. Let there be tension in the connection between hand and foot. Right hand rests on the hip, reminding that right side of the low back and the hips to stay heavy. Take one more big breath in. And exhale, gently release. Pull both knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze, and start to rock and roll on the spine 3 or 4 times to move the energy up and down the spinal column. Last rock. We land in a seat, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Bring the heels decently close to the groin. Doesn't have to come as close to the groin as possible. Leave a little bit of space for grace. Hands wrap around the feet. Take a breath in. Find a tall spine sitting up. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the sides, pressing down onto the knees as the chest sinks forward, thinking extension through the low back and out through the heart. Drop the chin to the chest. Pull up on the feet with the hands, push down on the knees with the elbows. One more deep breath in. Let it go. Inhale, come up to a seat. Let's take a twist. Right hand comes behind the seat, left hand outside of the knee. Breathe in, find length through the spine first. Exhale, pull the navel back and find a deeper twist. Soles of the feet push into each other. There's some pressure there. If you want to reach around for a bind, right hand picks up and wraps into the left hip crease. This is the basis for what we're going to do today. We're going to be doing a hip opening twisting class. So twisting at the same time that we're opening the hips. Push this right knee down against your hand that's pulling up. Take another breath. Navel in, firm the core. Inhale back to center. Notice how things feel side to side. Take the twist the other side. Left hand behind the hip, right hand outside the knee. Inhale, find a ramrod straight spine. Exhale, navel back, put some pressure in the right hand, twisting to the left, opening the chest up to the left. If you'd like to take the bind, left hand picks up, wrap it into the right hip crease. Left shoulder is retracting, left elbow is peeling back away from the side body. Push both knees down and away towards the floor. Soles of the feet have pressure between them. Breathe in, lengthen the spine. Exhale to twist. There's a lot going on in a hip opening twist. Can you keep the breath flowing evenly? Nothing else is going to be going right in this posture if that breath can't flow. Final breath in. Exhale, gently come back to center. Let's cross the legs, plant the palms in front of the knees, roll over those knees and find tabletop. Inhale, cow pose, drop the belly, pull the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. A couple rounds with your breath. Last round, inhaling to cow pose. Exhaling back to cat. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale to the dog pose. Let the head fall heavy between the upper arms. Draw the navel in and pull the ribs down, knitting them together across the front body. Continue to lift both of your sitting bones up towards the sky, finding a little bit of posterior tilt. Two more deep breaths. Start to hug the biceps up towards the sky, triceps wrap down, inner armpits reach towards each other, squeezing together, light bend at the elbows. With your next breath in, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Stretch the heart out, lengthen out of your low back, maybe a little bend in the knees. Exhale to fold down, navel drawing in so that you can fold tightly to the tops of the thighs. Inhale, reach and rise to standing, grow tall. Exhale, hands to heart center. Squeeze your glutes, tear the mat apart between the feet. Keep that pressure up between the feet. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, dive down, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, pressure between the feet still. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank pose. Take a breath in your plank. Exhale, lower down halfway, slow lower as the elbows hug in, kissing the ribs of the side bodies. Inhale, upward facing dog. You're also welcome to take cobra. Exhale, back to low plank. Roll to the tops of the feet, contract the navel, sink the chest as the elbows bend again. Inhale, push it up top of a plank. Exhale, lift the hips back to downward facing dog. You don't have to add in that extra part if you don't want to. You don't have to take any vinyasa. You don't want to. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach all the way up to the sky, glutes on, feet tearing the mat apart. Exhale, hands to heart center. And again, inhale, reach up, rise up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold, belly in. Inhale, halfway lift, core stays engaged. Exhale, plant the palms, step, or maybe a jump back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, roll to the toes, navel contract, sink the chest, elbows bend. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And out. One more round. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top. Inhale, half. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Samastitihi. Glutes on, pressure between the feet. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back. Take the vinyasa if you'd like it. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, back to low plank, Chaturanga. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take a big breath in. And a big sigh out. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to right tricep, step the right foot outside of the right hand for lizard pose. Back heel stays elevated, hips are heavy, but the thigh continues to lift up towards the sky. Take your heart forward, look forward, maybe some rocking forward and back on the back toes. Exhale, drop the back knee down, untuck the back toes. Let the right knee fall out to the right as the sole of the right foot peels up off the earth. Keep that right knee out to the right. Keep the pinky edge side, the knife edge side of that right foot down. Untuck your, or rather retuck your back toe. Lift your back knee up and hover it. Let the hips sink down. Let that right knee spill out. Keep the left thigh lifting up. Big breath in. Exhale, right foot returns to the earth, right knee points towards the sky. Push through the palms, lift the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, step the right foot through between the palms. Inhale, slow, steady rise to a high lunge. Take a deep lunge in the front thigh. Let the hips slide forward and down as the back thigh starts to lift up towards the sky, finding strength through the back leg. Take a big breath in, lift your low belly, look up. Exhale, hands come to heart center, prayer twist to the right, left elbow outside of the right knee. If you need to drop the back knee down to hook the elbows, go ahead and do that. And then lift that back thigh up again. Hips are heavy, but the back thigh is rising. And then lean back through the upper back a little bit, finding a ramrod straight spine. Push down through the palms, lift the navel to turn the chest over to the right a little bit more. Breathe through the nose. And out. If you have a bind here and you want to take that, right arm reaches up, turn the thumb away, bend the elbow, reach it underneath the left hip. Right hand crosses underneath the right thigh, maybe catching the bind. Inhale, lean back away from your front thigh. Maybe tipping over here as I nearly did. Navel in, look over the right shoulder. Take final breath. Release your bind, push through the front heel. Inhale, high lunge, unravel. Exhale, hands to the mat. Push through the palms on the right heel, high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. Take your toes over towards the left side of the mat. Shin maybe almost parallel to the top of the mat. Walk your back toe out, sink the hips down. Take a big breath in, lift your heart up. Exhale, walk down to your forearms. This might be it for you today. If you want to add a twist here, which is what I'm going to recommend to prepare for some of the really deep twisting we'll be doing today, you're going to take this left hand and thread it behind your right elbow. Back of the left arm comes down, left shoulder comes down, left temple comes down. Maybe this right arm just walks to the top of the mat for a thread the needle variation. Maybe you bring left palm on top of right for a prayer twist variation here. Right temple rests, and we're breathing. Navel in, drive down through both elbows. 2 more. Last one. Release your twist if you've taken it. Inhale, push down. We rise up to tall arms. Exhale, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Push down, lift your hips up. Inhale, three-legged dog again. Right leg high. Exhale, find plank pose. Shoulders glide over the wrists. Exhale, right knee to the chest. Inhale, extend it back, one leg plank. Exhale, lower down. Both feet land. Inhale, back bend, cobra up dog. Exhale, back to down dog or maybe to low plank. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath in. And a one breath out. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step the left foot outside of the left hand for lizard. Keep the back heel lifted. Lift your back thigh up, hips sinking down, heart reaches forward. Maybe a little bit of rocking forward and back. Exhale, drop the back knee down to the floor, untuck the back toes. Let your left knee fall out to the left. The sole of the foot peels up. The knife edge side stays pushing down into the earth. Breathe in and breathe out. Retuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Keep your front leg exactly as it is in this external rotation of the left hip, left thigh. One more big breath here. Exhale, left foot comes back down to the floor. Push the floor away through the feet. Lift your hips up. Inhale, three-legged dog. Left leg rises up and back. Exhale, knee to nose. Step the left foot through between the palms. Inhale, slow, steady rise. High lunge. Peel yourself up. Take a deeper lunge into the front thigh as the hips slide forward and down. The back thigh rises up, straightening the back leg. Belly in. Chest tall. Final breath here. Exhale, hands to heart center. We twist to the left, right elbow outside the left knee, maybe dropping the back knee down to catch the twist or catch the hook of the elbow, and then lifting that back thigh high so it's nice and strong. Push down through the arms, turn and look over the left shoulder, leaning back through the upper body so that the spine is long rather than rounded. If you have that full bind, you're welcome to take it. Your left arm reaches up, turn the thumb away. Bend the elbow, wrap the hand underneath the right hip crease. From here, right elbow wraps over the top of the left thigh. The hand reaches down and in, maybe to catch that hand. Use these hands underneath the pelvis, reminding you to lift your right hip up a little bit. And then lean the upper body back slightly. Look up, breathe. Inhaling for length from the back heel through the crown. Navel in, push the right elbow back into the leg. Final breath in. Exhale, release your bind, push through the feet. Inhale, unravel into a high lunge, reach up. Exhale, take the hands to the mat. Slide the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to the left wrist. Take the toes over to the right side of the mat. Find half pigeon pose. Walk the back toes out. Maybe a little bit of rocking side to side. Make sure you've got equal weight between the right thigh and the left hip. Walk the hands out, coming down to the forearms. Take a breath. This might be enough. If you want a twist variation, you're going to take that right hand, pass it behind your left elbow. Bring the right shoulder, right temple down. Maybe that left arm reaches all the way to the top of the mat. Maybe you bend this bottom elbow, flexing the wrist. Place left palm on top of right. You're twisting towards your left shin. Breathing in for length. Exhaling to draw the navel in, pushing down through both elbows. Almost as if you were trying to lift your side body away from the floor. That's how much you're pushing down through the arms. Take another big breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, push up tall arms. Exhale, tuck the back toe. Lift the back knee up. Inhale, push through the palms and the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, glide forward, find plank pose. Left knee pulls tight to the chest. Inhale, send the left leg back, one leg plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, back to down dog, or maybe a little addition, go to low plank. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. With your next inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Tear the mat apart between the feet. Bend the knees, sit the hips down. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Navel in, hips sinking low. The chest is tall, reaching out through the armpits, wrists, and fingertips. Take one more breath here. Shift the weight to the left foot. Right knee comes into the chest. Still staying in chair pose in the standing leg. Sitting down through the left sitting bone, but right knee is pulling tight to the chest. The navel is drawing back to make space for this knee pulling in. Take a breath. Exhale, turn the heel up towards the sky, the knee down towards the floor, across left ankle over right knee. Toes are still flexed on that right foot. And then rather than thinking about sitting directly down towards the floor, draw the hips back as the chest reaches out, the low back is long. You're not rounded here. So keep the chest tall. That might mean that you need to sit up a little bit taller to keep the low back long. Bring the hands to the hips. Wrap your left hip crease back. Rotate your right hip forward. And then it's a little bit deeper. Heart still reaching forward. Maybe the arms go up. Maybe hands are at heart center. You decide what works for you. Standing figure 4. Keep your gaze trained. Navel in. Ribs pull down and knit together as you exhale. Good. Take one more breath here. Good. Empty. Inhale, rise. Right knee comes to the chest. One leg Tadasana. Exhale, set it down. Dive forward into a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the left palm underneath the face. Bend your left knee. Inhale, right arm high. Big open twist. Push down through the bottom hand to reach up taller through your lifted fingertips. And then lean the chest back in space a little bit more so that you're not rounded here. You're going to keep the weight in the right foot. Peel the left heel up. You'll recognize this transition if you were with me for week 3 last week. Inhale, send the left leg back, and we're in revolved half moon. Drive down through the right heel. Lift the low belly. See if you can lift that left hip just a little bit more. And then draw the navel and lean back through the upper chest, maybe looking up at the top thumb. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Staying steady in the breathing. Take 1 more breath. Fight for more here. Exhale, lightly bend your standing legs. Step the left toes back short. Short step back. Those left toes are at a 45-degree angle. Move the left hand back so the fingertips are in line with the right toes. You might need to wiggle that left foot a little bit further back in space. And then inhale, right arm turns up to the sky. Chest turns open to the right for Revolve Triangle. Tear the mat apart between the feet. Wrap your right hip crease back so the hips are even and square. Lean the chest back. Look up for 2. Navel in, ribs down for 1. Right palm comes to the floor. Step the left foot forward to the top of the mat and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, Bakasana, crow pose. Palms plant, all 10 fingers spread wide, knees to the backs of the triceps. Look forward, lean forward. Keep hugging elbows and knees in towards the center. Upper back is domed as you push the floor away. Maybe those toes get light for 2 breaths. Final big breath in here. Exhale, step or jump back, low plank. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, back to down dog, maybe adding that extra little push-up if you want it. Everybody breathes in the down dog. And follow the breath out. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend the knees. Tear the mat apart between the feet, reach up through the chest. Just a little bit lower through the hips. Navel rising. Steady your right leg. Inhale, left foot starts to get light, heel peels up. Exhale, left knee pulls to the chest, everything else remains the same. Flex the toes of your lifted foot. Navel in. Pull the left knee tighter into that space you just created. And then we rotate the lower leg, the heel towards the sky, the knee towards the floor, cross left ankle over right knee. Figure 4. Hands come to the hips. Think about drawing the hips back as the heart reaches out. A little bit deeper in your standing leg, perhaps. Notice where the hips are in space. Left hip will want to wrap back. You're going to pull it forward. Right hip crease rolls back. Lifted toes are still flexed. Maybe you're wiggling and wobbling here. Try to find one place to look at and then tune into the barometer of your breath. Final breath in. Get empty. Inhale, rise up to stand, left knee to the chest. Exhale, left foot steps down, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Right hand plants underneath the face. Bend your right knee. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Wide through the arms, wide through the fingertips. Lean the chest back. Draw the navel in. Right heel gets light. With your inhale, kick the right leg back for revolved half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Right heel is kicking back in space. Right thigh is trying to rise. Right hip is trying to rise. Navel draws into the spine. Push your right shoulder, your working shoulder, push it forward into the back of your body. This will help you lean back a little bit. This will keep a tall spine. This will turn the twist over to the left a little bit more. Take final breath in. Final breath out. Inhale, find equal energy through all four limbs. Exhale, bend your standing leg. Short step back for revolve triangle. Heels are in line, back toes are at a 45-degree angle. Walk your right hand back so the fingertips are in line with the toes. Left hand can come to the hip if you like. Look to the left. Turn the chest to the left. Left elbow peels back. Maybe left arm goes high. Notice if this left side body is short, if this left hip is pulling towards your armpit. Take this left hip crease, roll it back. Left side body gets long. Pressure between your feet. You're tearing the earth apart between the feet. 2 more deep breaths in. Inhale for length. Exhale, navel in, ribs down. Left hip rolls back. More pressure between the feet. Last breath. Exhale, bend both knees. Step the right foot to the top of the mat and fold. Relief. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Crow pose if you want it. Bakasana, maybe crane pose if you're feeling good in your crow today. Straightening the arms as the toes lift off. Breathe. Keep pushing the floor away. Keep hugging elbows and knees together. Big breath in. Big breath out. Step or jump back. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in your down dog. And let it go, navel in, ribs down. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, find plank pose. Pull the right knee to the chest, step the right foot through. Inhale, slow, steady rise, high lunge. Exhale, power lunge, hinge the chest forward, sweep the hands back. Left glute is squeezing, whole core, not just the left side, whole core is engaged. Take a big breath in. Breathe firm, navel and left glute. From here, one leg Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach forward, left knee pulls tight to the chest. Right glute is squeezing. You're standing up tall on the right leg. Your gaze is steady. Take another breath in. Exhale, bend your standing leg. Inhale, pull the left knee tighter to the chest. Exhale, bend a little bit deeper into that standing leg. Final inhale. Exhale, cross left ankle over right knee. Figure 4, hands come to heart center. Take a breath. Hips sink back and down. Make sure left hip is pulling forward. Right hip is wrapping back just a little. Just a little bit. I think I mixed that up. Sometimes we mix it up. So right hip pulls back more. Left hip is rolling forward. Feel your hips. Are they like headlights pointing towards the top of the mat? Good. Let's take it to a twist. You're going to keep your gaze forward. Hands come to heart center. Exhale, arms open wide. Left fingertips to the top of the mat. Right fingertips to the back of the mat. Good. Keep your left foot flexed. Inhale, find length through the spine. Exhale, we're still turning open to the right side just a little bit more. Good, final breath in. Exhale, we swivel. Left hand points towards the floor, right arm up towards the sky. The back of the left wrist, or maybe the back of the left forearm, pushes into the left foot. There's this connection between the left arm and the foot, and you're using that as leverage to turn the heart open. Breathe for another 3. Fight for more. Navel in, twist to the right. Last 2. Last 1. Exhale, step down, hands to heart center. Ooh, okay, inhale, reach the arms up, rise up onto your toes, hug the inner thighs, inner ankles, and glutes together. Exhale, hands to heart center as you bend the knees and slowly sink the hips down on top of the heels for a toe stand. Now, we've done this entrance before to side crow if you were with me for week 2. If you weren't with me, that's okay. It's a simple entrance. You're going to keep the toes and the knees pointing towards the top of the mat. Hands come to the right side of your body. Fingertips point towards the right side of the mat. Bend the elbows like you're doing chaturanga. Look in the direction of your fingertips. Knee is connecting to the back of the left tricep, but the right hip is floating free. Lean forward, look forward. Maybe those toes come up. Side crow. Keep pushing the floor away. Don't make the upper back. Inner elbows hug together. If you're feeling spicy, extend the right leg forward. If you're feeling even spicier, kick your left leg back, splitting the legs for EPK 1. Final breath here. Exhale, bend the knees, step down. Oh man, guys, if you can't tell I'm out of breath and I'm sweaty, I hope you are too. All right, from here, release your hands, bring the hands to heart center. We're in this low squat. Inhale, rise up to the sky. Lift the heels up as you rise. Exhale, drop the heels and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, take a vinyasa if you need it. If you're like, my arms are dead after that arm balance, we meet in downward facing dog. Breathe in for the back bend if you're taking it. We all meet in downward facing dog. One more breath here. Find that steady breath that's going to carry you through this last flow. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, find plank pose. Left knee pulls to the chest. Step the left foot through. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, power lunge. Hinge the chest forward. Sweep the hands back. Shoulder blades squeeze. Right glute is squeezing. Navel is in. With your next inhale, one leg Tadasana. Arms sweep forward. Right knee comes tight to the chest. Keep pulling the core back. Keep pulling the right knee tight. With your next inhale, bend your standing leg. Exhale, navel in, right knee pulls tighter. Think about leaning towards the heat. Bring your chest towards that front thigh. Final breath like this. Exhale, cross. Right ankle over left knee. Hands come to heart center. Hips drop back and down. Chest reaches forward. Flex these right toes. Notice the hips. Left hip pulls back. Right hip rolls forward. Ooh. Make sure those hips are square to the front like headlights. From here, hands to heart center. Take a big breath. So a little bit deeper in your standing leg. Gaze is steady. Inhale, open the arms to the left. Right fingertips reach to the top of the mat. Left fingertips wrap back. Notice if the hips have turned all the way. Keep wrapping right hip back. Final breath like this. Exhale, we rotate the arms. Right fingertips point towards the floor. Left fingertips reach up. The back of the right wrist or right forearm connects with the sole of the right foot. Use that as leverage. Push the back of the arm into the foot. Inhale, find length, fingertip to fingertip. Exhale, keep pushing. Here for another 3, 2. Navel and ribs down. Push your working shoulder, your right shoulder, into the back body. Last breath. Lightly step down, hands to heart center. You made it, nice work. Inhale, reach the arms up, rise up onto the toes. Hug Inner ankles, inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, exhale, hands to heart center, bend the knees, we sink low over the toes. Side crow, other side. Hands plant to the left, fingertips point towards the left side of the mat. Hands are shoulder width, all 10 fingers spread wide, bend the elbows. Look forward, lean forward. The knees are pushing onto the right tricep, but this left hip is not resting on the elbow. That left hip stays back, tucked back. Lean forward, look forward. The toes are going to swing around, pointing towards the top of the mat, side crow. Push down through the palms, upper back's domed. If you're feeling spicy, kick the left leg forward. If you're feeling extra spicy, kick the right leg back. Ooh, that side's much harder for me. Breathe. Come out when you're ready. Take one more breath if you have it. And exhale, we release. Drop your heels. Come to the squat. Hands to heart center facing the top of the mat. Inhale, push down through the feet. We rise to standing, lifting the heels as we rise. Exhale, drop the heels and fold forward. Inhale, half. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, take this last vinyasa of the practice or choose to skip it. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. We have 3 breaths right here. In through the nose. Big exhale through the mouth. In through the nose. Blow it out through the lips. Last inhale. Out through your nose. Drop the knees. A brief child's pose. Grab sweat towel or water if you need it. Take a moment. Notice how you feel. Check in with yourself. We're not quite done yet. We're not quite done yet. We're going to do one more little arm balance. We'll prep for an arm balance and then we will wind down. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Let's bring our bums to the floor, soles of the feet on the earth. Bring the hands behind you, fingertips pointing away. Let's cross right ankle over left knee for figure 4. We've been here before in this class. Flex your right toes. And just feel the hip stretch for a moment. And then we're going to turn this into a funky arm balance with a twist. So you're going to keep the left hand where it is, but you're going to pick up your right hand. Right hand, you're going to bend this elbow. You're going to lean forward. And you're going to try to connect the back of that right arm to the sole of the right foot. Now, this might be where you're working today, just trying to work that foot up the arm. And that's enough. Maybe this is it. And you're just here. Maybe fingertips are pointing towards the sky. You're pushing the upper arm into the foot and the foot into the arm for a twist and a hip opening. If you've got this connection, you're going to follow me into a fun little arm balance. So you're going to step this left foot a little bit further away. You're going to keep this foot hooked over the upper arm. You're going to bring both palms over to the left side of your hips. Hands shoulder width apart. Elbows are lightly bending back. Roll to the pinky edge side of your left foot, the foot that's on the floor. You're going to push down and lift your hips up. Ooh, okay. This is a fun little in-between pose. You're going to keep that foot pressing down onto the back of the right arm. You're going to look out. You're going to look forward. You're going to lean forward slightly to the left. And then maybe that left foot gets light and it kicks out to the right for Grasshopper's pose. And we're breathing for 2. Embrace the shake. Bend your left foot. Put it down. Release the hips. Guys, I'm dead. Maybe you are too. Here, let's take it to the other side. I'm going to swing around. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Maybe you're like, I'm done arm balancing. I don't need any more twisting and hip opening today. Cool, then you're here. And you're here. Breathing. If you're with me for more, lean onto your right hand. Left hand picks up. Bend the elbow. You're going to tuck that elbow just under the sole of that left foot. Maybe you're working it in here. You can push down through that bottom hand, lift your chest up, and that gives you a little bit more leverage to slide the foot up the back of the arm. This might be it for today. Just working this. If you're with me for Grasshopper, you're going to step this right foot a little bit further away. So that way you can lean onto the right hip, let your left sitting bone come up as the hands plant on the right side of the body. Roll onto the pinky edge side of the right foot, push down, lift the hips up. Hug the elbows together, maybe walking the hands together if they were a little bit far apart. Lean forward, look forward, push down through the left foot. Maybe that right foot gets light. And breathing. For 2. Elbows together. Lower the foot, drop the hips, release. Soles of the feet together. Lay yourself all the way down on your back. Bakasana. One hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Breathe. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out. Using your hands, gently close the knees like the pages of a book. Curl the knees into the chest. And inhale, reach the left arm out to the left. Exhale, use the right hand to guide the knees over to the right. Inhale, knees back to center. Give them a squeeze with the left arm. Inhale, right arm reaches out to the right. Exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, wrap both arms around them. Give them a squeeze. From here, you have an option of either legs up the wall, one hand to heart, one hand to belly, knees gently bent, big toes touch, or lifting up into shoulder stand, Sarvangasana. If you're having any neck issues today, I recommend that you stick with legs up the wall. If you're taking shoulder stand, walk the hands down your back towards your shoulders to lift more of your back body up towards the sky. Squeeze your glutes, push your groin back towards the wall behind you. And keep your gaze steady. Don't look around here. Back of the neck has a lot of pressure on it. If you're in shoulder stand and want to make your way towards Halasana plow pose, go for it. Toes drop down behind the head. If your toes land on the earth, point them. Continue to lift your sitting bones up towards the sky, thinking long spine and extension through the low back. Maybe hugging the knees in towards the temples for deaf man's pose. Final breath in. And exhale, begin to curl the knees into the chest and very slowly lower the hips back down to the earth. And with the knees into the chest, grab the outer edges of the feet for a full happy baby. Pull down with the hands, push up with the feet, low back, settle down against the earth. And gently curl the knees into the chest, give yourself a big hug. And with an inhale, lift the head, neck, and chest up to meet the knees. Hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And with one exhale, let the legs go long, let the arms go long at your sides for Savasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Big audible exhale out through the mouth. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And drop one ear to the mat and then the other, massaging the back of the skull against the earth. And with your next inhale, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch, lengthen fingertips to toes. Exhale, pull the knees into the chest, roll to one side, and rest for a moment on your side in the fetal position. And you're welcome to end class here. If you'd like to press up and in a comfortable seat with hands at heart center, that's also welcome. And as always, we end with a moment of gratitude. And today we're grateful for this practice that creates a homeostasis in the body. It creates a base level of grounding and centeredness from which we can breathe and move and live the rest of our lives in hopefully a more balanced way. Inhale, thumbs up to the third eye between the brows. Inhale. Offer your exhale to your space. And as we bow forward in reverence to each other, together we say, Namaste. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice and your presence with me today. Thank you for joining me through some hip opening twisting. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you really liked the series and learned some new tactics for twisting, for keeping it safe and experimenting a little bit. So look out for our next series that is coming at the start of October. Until we meet again on the mat, namaste.